Media piracy is so interesting. It's nothing like it was in the past. You get every TV show, movie, anime, or even live TV all in one application at 4K HDR surround sound uncompressed. It's honestly even better than paying for it, and it all makes sense why piracy is on the rise all over again. In this video, I dive in the deepest depths of media piracy. I even talk to some of the owners of some pirated websites to show you exactly how much money they make and how much it even costs to host their platform. By the way, piracy is definitely illegal. I don't support it, I don't teach you how to do it, and I don't condone it in any sense. I absolutely hate piracy, it's disgusting. Okay, let's get back to the video. This is what piracy looks like in today's time. Everything is just so clean. It looks like it's a Netflix-made website. Like, look at all these animations. You press on any movie, and then technically you could press play, but that's illegal, so we're not gonna press that button. And there's more like this, there's suggested. You can even go down to search for TV shows only, and then you can choose for anime, and you only get anime, and everything is all built into one app. You even got settings, change the subtitles, make your own account to share progress. Like, it's unbelievable how good piracy has gotten, and it's honestly becoming better than if you were to actually pay for it. This is another piracy site. It has live previews where you can watch like actual previews of the movie before clicking on it. You have all of this insane UI going on. And I actually talked to the owner of this site and I asked him some pretty interesting questions. Do you consider this to be theft?
Well, yes and no. The makers of the content do deserve for what they're delivering, but because content is so scattered through so many different apps now, to watch everything you want, many people would need 5 to 6 different subscriptions. They've made the legal way so complicated that the illegal way starts to feel like the easier option at some point. Over time, subscription costs on these platforms have also skyrocketed. Just to watch one movie, I wouldn't want to buy an Amazon Prime subscription that I might not use for anything else. As a user myself, I find it a waste of money and unnecessarily expensive just for one movie.
And this site in specific is one of the most popular sports streaming sites on the entire internet. And I even got a chance to talk to the owner and ask him a few personal questions. So, who are you and what site do you own?
I'm the site admin, and I built it as a sports streaming aggregator, handling the day-to-day stuff and keeping the site running.
And then I asked him, how much money do you even make hosting pirated content, and how much does it even cost you?
Costs vary a lot by scale. A big streaming site like mine, with lots of viewers, burns through a few €1,000 monthly.
What's the highest number of concurrent users you've ever had on your site?
At its peak, we've recorded over 200,000 concurrent users.
What would you do if the government asked you for everyone's IP address that's ever been on your website?
A government agency technically could go after individual users, sure, but in most cases, it's just not worth their time or resources. Their focus is usually on identifying and shutting down operators, not chasing the average viewer.
The next option of piracy is called torrenting, and honestly in today's time it's even higher quality than Netflix itself. This is the old method where you basically have to go to a piracy website, download a file, and then make sure there's enough seeders giving out that file so they're sharing it from their computers in a decentralized way into your computer. You have to protect your IP address because you easily could get caught doing this, and then you have to download a torrenting software, and all of this could take between 30 minutes to a few hours just to get an uncompressed movie onto your computer. Since these files are not being hosted at a single server, but rather just random people streaming it from their computers around the world onto your computer, it becomes a decentralized sharing network that basically can never get taken down. But it also gives you the highest chance that you get caught and have to pay thousands of dollars or even get sued if they catch you. This is the notorious letter in the mail that you might have even gotten yourself, where a copyright holder finds your IP address and then sends you a letter demanding $500, $1,000, or even up to $10,000 for all the pirated shows and movies that you downloaded to your computer. I made a full video in the cards above where I talked to a real lawyer that handles these types of piracy cases and what your best option really is when it comes to getting sued for piracy. But nowadays, there's a new way of piracy, and this one is the most overpowered method ever. So pirates literally pay $3 per month for a debrid service. What it basically does is it does the piracy on their behalf, so they're not actually torrenting anything to their own computers. But the catch is that once the file downloads onto the debrid service, they stream it in high speed at full quality to their phone, computer, laptop, or even television using an application called Streamio. And so when you open up that app, you can basically just choose any movie that you want, and the debrid service 99 times out of 100 already has that movie pre-downloaded onto their servers, where you could stream it instantaneously with literally like maybe a 3-second wait, and you get a higher quality stream than if you were paying Netflix or HBO. For an example, if someone watches movie A for the first time using that same debrid service that Pirate is signed up for, it'll keep that movie cached on their servers for about 7 days. And if somebody else watches that same exact movie, it'll keep it cached for another 7 days, and so on and so forth, so that it's always sitting on their server as long as that movie is still popular and ready to go. I actually asked the owner of one of the biggest debrid services in the world right now if he'd be down to interview for this video, and he unfortunately declined. I could probably see why. It looks like nobody's ever actually been caught while using a debrid service, like ever, even if they're not using a VPN and they're paying for it with their real credit card that's attached to their real name and identity. Nobody's ever actually been caught by using these things. And most of these services do claim to have a no-log policy, which we talked about in my last video. If the government really wanted to, they could force you to lie about your own no-log policy and give them all the logs, but apparently no one's ever really been caught for this, so I guess it seems pretty safe. So what these pirates do now is they plug in their debrid service to a software called Streamio. Now, Streamio is technically a legal app. It's not illegal at all. You can use it to download and to play videos that you legally own at your own home server to any of your devices or TVs or computers. But of course, these pirates have their own ways of installing plugins that Streamio coincidentally allows you to use. And then they install torrenting plugins into Streamio that automatically grab every single torrenting link for every single movie, show, live TV, anime, whatever you could think of. And that plugs in, of course, to their debrid service, so their IP address never actually leaks. And then they install more plugins, and this makes it a fully fledged service. They have plugins that give them metadata, so like images, file art for every single movie. They can see the thumbnails, the trailers, the ratings, the cast of actors that were in the movie. It even tracks where you stopped watching using a different plugin so that you can resume on any other device that you own, and it syncs it up with even your real paid services like Netflix and HBO. So once all of these come together, it starts to look like a proper movie application. You almost can't even tell that it's piracy at all. Now, actually getting all of this set up, from what I've read online, from my third-party experience, looked like it was pretty complicated. It looks like it wasn't very easy or intuitive at all. There's not many YouTube videos, those get taken down, and there are some guides that I found when researching this that people just pass around in group chats and Reddit posts and links. And this guide is just like a fully fledged written up guide that teaches you how to pirate in the most insanely overpowered way ever. And this kind of just gets thrown around the internet, and everyone just knows to follow this guide. Now, yes, you're gonna ask, it does even work on iPhones and Apple TVs without any side loading or jailbreaking at all. There's a Streamio duplicate or a very similar application called Omni on the App Store. It's like about $10. Not sure why it's on the App Store, how it's on the App Store and Streamio isn't, but it's basically what Streamio is. It comes with nothing on it. It's made for legal reasons, and it's what iPhone users use in today's time. Now, some people actually do something different. It's called a Plex media server. And so Plex is really just made to have your own home media server, but of course, people use it for different reasons, and this one's actually a bit more interesting. People download hundreds of terabytes onto their own media server. They have it automatically scanning for newest movies and TV shows and releases, and then they physically own all the movies at their house. It's illegal, but of course they own it. And then they rent out that server to other people for $5 to $15 per month, and they literally use a SaaS model to do this. So they're making money. They're making probably thousands of dollars every single month by distributing torrented content on a Plex media server. You also realize that whenever any of these pirates try to press play in any of these movie titles, they get like 30 different options of different torrents that they can stream the movie from. And so it's pretty complicated. They have a lot of different options. There's also a setting that just chooses the best one for you, but people like to choose their own. And I'll try to explain what all of these titles mean. They look kind of like this, what you're seeing on screen. It's pretty complicated. So I'm going to list some of the most common piracy lingo that you're going to see when you're looking for a movie. And the first one is WebDL. Then there's Web Rip, Blu-ray, BD Rip, BR Rip, Remux, HDR10, HDR10 Plus, DV, Atmos, DTS, DTS-HDMA, and 10-bit. Yeah, It's a lot to memorize. If you're struggling to make more money every month, you should know that right now local businesses have a problem and they will pay hundreds of dollars every month for someone to solve it for them. They're not getting enough new customers because their competitors are ranking above them on Google. So what I do is I install automations into their business that get them more 5-star Google reviews. I have an AI respond to those reviews directly on Google, and a text message blast that goes out to all their past clients to get more customers back into their business right away. I just got one of my clients 79 5-star Google reviews in only 3 weeks of signing up with me, and I do this all with one single software called High Level. I started teaching my subscribers how to use it, and they're already helping businesses and getting paid for it every single month. Adam got his first client by just walking in and pitching it to him. This subscriber got his first client that owns a detailing business, and this guy went crazy and went above $10,000 per month using High Level for his own business. After using High Level myself to run my own marketing company outside of YouTube, I'm able to teach you how to go from knowing nothing about High Level to landing your very first client within the extended 30-day free trial that's in the link down below. Right when you get started, you should receive a text message or an email from me that's going to have my custom snapshot with all of my pre-made workflows, my automations that you can literally just install onto your High Level account and start using for local businesses today. If they can see that you're helping them get more reviews, more customers, and more business, it's a no-brainer to pay you for it every single month, and I'll teach you exactly how to get there. Start your 30-day free trial with a link down below. But what I started thinking was, how the hell do they even copy this type of video? If you've ever tried to screen record while you're watching Netflix using OBS for an example, you would know that the screen just turns black and they block the entire video from you. That's because of something called DRM, Digital Rights Management. They have some sort of encryption software that blocks anybody else from viewing what's happening on the screen, even if you have a screen recorder. And they're always making updates to make this harder and harder every single year. But some people, God knows how, find a way to bypass all of that DRM garbage and download the full movie in 4K in the exact quality that they get it from the Blu-ray disc or from the streaming services. They get the top tier quality every single time, sometimes less than 30 minutes of a movie actually dropping. They copy over the same audio channels with high dynamic range, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, all the bells and whistles that a real streaming service would provide you. But honestly, in the version of a Blu-ray disc, it's even higher quality, even less compression than what you'd find at Netflix or HBO. So it's better than streaming. Technically speaking, piracy today is better, like literally better than streaming. And the more that I research online, these guys that rip these movies will never actually tell you their methods of doing it. And it honestly makes perfect sense. Once one person figures out a method of breaking DRM and downloading the full quality movie, they usually will never tell anyone about it, because if someone that works at Netflix figures out, they can block it by updating their DRM and making it some sort of a cat and mouse game where it's they get blocked and then they find a way to bypass it every single time. But in this sense, unlike video game piracy, it looks like these guys never actually take the L. It's like they always find a way. There's never a time where the DRM actually stops them. They're just way too good. So Netflix and these other streaming applications somewhat kind of force you to use their proprietary app. They never want you to watch Netflix on your Chrome browser with ad blocker installed, for instance, because even if you're paying for 4K, Dolby Vision, Atmos, surround sound, and all that extra stuff, Netflix will actually give you a 720p stream. It looks like absolute garbage, and they basically make you use their software to get what you're actually paying for, which is not fair in any sense. So yes, there are bypass methods, but they're a little bit complex. They require a Chrome extension and other things that you shouldn't have to do as a paying member to Netflix. So Netflix says it's to protect their 4K stream from the pirates, but in reality, if you protect it by forcing everyone to use your closed source application, the pirates still find a way. And the benefit of everyone using your application is that you can track them way better than you could if they were just on Chrome with, extensions and ad blockers installed. And so Netflix forces you to use their application to get what you're paying for, which is not even fair. You can just view it online, but they want to actually spy on you even deeper. They track every single thing about you, how long you watch every single show or movie, when you pause it, how often you get up to use the bathroom. They literally know probably the next time that you're going to go use the bathroom based on how you watch Netflix. And it's not even fair at this point. So I'm paying money, $25 per month, plus $9 because you have to add an extra household number now because they got really greedy recently. But I'm paying every single month. And you're pirating data off of me? Someone actually commented on my previous video saying big businesses ask us not to pirate their stuff, but they pirate information on us all the time and they sell it. That's actually a really good freaking argument. Why is piracy the only logical conclusion at this point? I pay money, I get my data stolen, I have to pay more per household now, I'm restricted on which devices I can watch this in, and I'm only limited to a small series or catalog of shows and movies. Why would I ever pay money? Like, it doesn't make any, I'm getting a worse experience by paying money. And then Netflix goes on Twitter in 2017 and posts, "Love is sharing a password." Because they know everyone does it. They're not stupid. They use Netflix too. But now they're limiting each account to a single household. So I mean, it's IP address locked to your house, and you can't watch it on any other TV at anyone else's house unless you pay $9 per month more. So now Love costs $9 according to their own logic. That's almost $35 per month for Netflix, and then $19 to Disney Plus, and then $23 to HBO Max, and then $19 to Hulu. And after all of this, you're already at $96 per month. 96, just to get a worse viewing experience than someone who pays for a $3 debrid service and pirates all of their content for free. Netflix was supposed to be liberating us from the price gouging, from the greedy tactics and the controlling behavior of these cable companies that at one time really thought that we had no other option, that we would never leave them because they just had that grip on the market. But now look, they're all down. Like, no one actually pays for TV anymore. But if you notice that when Netflix first came, everyone chose the more convenient option. And nowadays, it's starting to look like the more convenient option and the cheaper option is becoming piracy. I mean, think about it. If paying more money gives you a worse experience, people will not have a problem paying less money for a better one. When you pirate stuff, it's illegal, and you shouldn't do that ever. Piracy is so bad. Yeah, it's horrible. But nobody's tracking your data. No one's tracking your watch time. No one's selling data on you. No one's trying to control how and when and where you can watch anything with the household restrictions and locking down to an IP address. You have full unrestricted control at the highest possible uncompressed Blu-ray quality. Now, I want to ask you a question. If a streaming service told you that we're going to bundle up all these different apps and packages and platforms and subscriptions all into one app, you can watch all your TV shows and movies all from one spot for $65 a month, would you do it? Comment down below. I actually really want to know. Personally, I would. The data is showing that people are spending nearly 20 minutes per day just searching for something to watch. And with the huge piracy increase in these recent years and how easy and accessible it's becoming with the quality and speed, it's looking like these streaming services have to get their act together soon, or else they're going to end up like cable TV did. Thank you for watching this video. Stay dreaming, stay lucid. I'm out. Peace.